Hey grade 8s, welcome to your Monday math. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys were able to kind of enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the nice weather. So what we're doing today is, for one, I looked at all the Google form responses at the time of filming this video. And from what I've seen, whether or not you guys like this form or not, it seems to be a very half and half. So what I will be doing from now on is when I post the assignment on the VLE, there's going to be the Google form link, but there's also going to be a PDF link to a regular worksheet that we've been working on. So you have the option of which one you want to do. Both of them, or the sets of questions, are going to be exactly the same. So you have the choice. If you like doing the Google form, do it that way. If you like doing the PDF, do it that way. You are also welcome to, if you wanted to, for some reason, is do the PDF first, and then you could submit all the answers you got from that onto the Google form so you can see what your score was. That's up to you if you want to do it that way. But either way, I want to make sure that option is available to you so that this learning is as accessible as possible. So don't worry, I'm not offended if you didn't like the Google form. I personally just like it because I get the instant feedback, but I can also see which questions in particular seems to be giving people trouble, and where are some areas that we can touch on, especially with doing review. So for what we're going to be doing today is I want to touch on a few of the review questions that looks like people were having a little bit of trouble with. So I'm going to go over those. Your homework or worksheet for today is going to be a little bit more of some of these questions. Again, you can do it on the Google form or you can do it on a PDF. Both options are available to you. You can do whichever one you like. And Wednesday, we're going to be starting a new unit. So the main reason I really want to go over this today and make sure that you guys are all really strong in this is because this is a big focus in grade 9. And I want to make sure you guys are as prepared as possible. So with that in mind, we're going to do 4 review questions, 3 of which are the ones where you plug in what the numeric values are and you try to get the answer. And then there's one where you have to balance the equation. So each question is on a different slide, so we're going to go over these questions. And you're going to have homework questions that are very similar to this that are available to you, and you can go over review and, like I said, Google form or PDF, and you can submit it over the VLE. All right, so question 4 was h to the power of 2 minus j to the power of 2 plus 1 over 2. So for this one, we have the values of h and j, so we just have to plug in the values. So if h is equal to 7, so what I'm going to do is rewrite this question with the values in it. So h is equal to 7, so I have 7 to the power of 2 minus j is a negative value of -6. I'm just going to put it in brackets just to keep things a little simpler. So I can see that it's -6, and that's to the power of 2 plus 1 divided by 2. Now, before I can do that divided by 2 stage, I have to solve my problems at the top here to one number. Because if I start doing anything with it now, it's not going to work out. So my first step is brackets. However, I have the exponents. I can't do 7 squared minus -6 squared without solving the expression first. Because if I do 7 minus -6 and I leave that square root there, it'll give me a completely different answer. So that's why I have to do my exponents first. So I have 7 squared. What's 7? Positive 7 times positive 7 is 49. So I have positive 49 is 7 squared minus -6 squared. So remember when we do a squared number, you're just multiplying it by itself. So -6 times -6. It's a negative times a negative, so it's going to be a positive number. So negative 6 times negative 6, positive 36, because negative times negative equals a positive number. So 36, close that bracket, plus 1 over 2. My next step is to do this bracket right here. So 49 minus 36. 49 minus 36 gives me 13. 13 plus 1 over 2 equals 14 over 2. There's two ways you can do this. Either divide the top by the bottom, or you treat it like a fraction. How many times does 2 fit into 14? It fits in exactly 7 times, or I can just do 14 divided by 2. Either way it will work, which equals 7. Usually just dividing the top by the bottom is the easiest method. So my final answer is 7, positive 7. Okay, let's do our next one. We have 6p minus n squared. This one, our p and n values are given to us, so we just have to plug them in and solve the expression. So I have 6. If I have p, which is 2, so I have 6 times 2. So if I just put it like in a bracket like this, it's the same thing as saying 6 times 2. So I can either do it like this or 6 times 2 squared. Minus n is negative 4, so I'm just going to put that negative 4 in a bracket. Oops, I just realized I did 2 squared and it wasn't supposed to be there. So 6 times 2 minus negative 4 squared. So I'm just going to put that little squared there. First thing is doing my, remember, order of BEDMAS. I have to do, there's no brackets, I have to do my exponent. So negative 4 times negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 equals, negative times a negative is a positive number, so it's going to be positive 16. Because 4 times 4 equals 16. So now I have 6 times 2 minus 16. My next step is, what is 6 times 2? 6 times 2 equals 12. So I have 12 minus 16. What's my answer? It is, so I have positive 12 minus 16. That means it's going to be a negative number because 16 is a higher value than 12. So it's going to be negative 4. And that's my final value there. Now we have question 8. S squared plus 24 over r. First, let's plug in our numbers. So s is equivalent to negative 3. So I'm going to put my negative 3 in a bracket. So negative 3 in a bracket. And I'm just going to put the squared up here. Plus 24, that stays the same, over 11. First step, there's no brackets, so I don't have to worry about that, but I do have an exponent. So I have to do negative 3 times negative 3. Negative times a negative is a positive number, and 3 times 3 equals 9. So I have 9 plus 24 over 11. 9 plus 24 is equal to 33 over 11. 33 divided by 11 is equal to 3. And that's my final answer, is 3. My last one here is where we have to balance the equation. So balancing the equation, my first step is to take care of the outlier. What's the outlier in this problem here? It is the 3, because that 2b, that 2 is attached to the b right now. It's much harder to deal with than it is to just take care of the 3 first. So easiest thing to do is take care of that 3. So I have negative 19. I'm just going to put it in a bracket because we're used to seeing our negatives in brackets. If it's minus on this side, so minus 3, if I bring it to this side, it becomes plus because I do the opposite operation. So now I have negative 19 plus 3. I know it's a positive 3 because if it was negative 3, it would have been like this. So I know it's a positive number. And it stays a positive number when I bring it to the other side of the equal sign. Okay? So if you have an integer and you bring it from one side of the equal sign to the other, it stays that same integer. What changes is the operation you're doing with it. So if I have negative 2 on the left side of my equal sign, even if I bring it over here, it remains negative 2. What changes is the operation I'm doing with that 2. So we'll get to that when we are taking care of 2b. Right now I have negative 2b is equals negative 19 plus 3. Negative 19 plus 3. Remember, I'm adding a positive number to a negative. So I'm going this way on a number line. So this number is going to get closer to 0. So that means it goes to negative 16 because adding a positive number, these two signs are the same. That means I go to the right. That means that negative number is getting closer to 0. So I have negative 16. So negative 2b is equal to negative 16. Now I have to get b on its own and get rid of that negative 2. So I'm going to bring this negative 2 over here. Like I was saying before, negative 2 is negative on this side of the number line. It remains negative on this side of the number line. What changes is the operation I'm doing with it. I was multiplying 2b over here because 2 and b right beside each other means multiplication. When I bring it over to the right side of the equal sign, it remains a negative 2, but instead of multiplying it, I'm dividing it because that's the opposite of multiplication. So now I have negative 16 divided by negative 2. All right, negative 16 divided by negative 2. I have two negatives divided by each other. That means my number is going to be positive. So negative divided by a negative equals positive. So now I have b is equal to negative 16 divided by negative 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And it's a positive 8. So b is equal to 8. Okay? So I hope this review was beneficial to you guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, be sure to email me. I have been going through that Google form. Some of you have just given me the right answers to questions, but sometimes the way you write it out, the Google form doesn't recognize whether or not it's right. So I do go through every single response and I look through all the questions just to see what the answers are. And I will give you a mark if you got the right answer. Because I know someone wrote the answer is -4 and they wrote the word is and then -4. They got the question right, but the Google form said it was wrong because it didn't recognize the word is in the response. I still marked it right, so I go in there and I do double check to make sure you got it right because I want you guys to get your honest score. What's nice is after I go through all these submissions is I can actually email you out the answers that you got, so your official proper answer. Just because, like I said, sometimes the Google form doesn't always recognize whether or not something was right. And I want you guys to know exactly what your score was, exactly what you did well on, and what might have been a little bit challenging. So that's your Monday lesson. Like I said, Wednesday we're going to go on to our next unit, but I really want to focus on this because, like I said, it's going to be significant in grade 9-10. Algebra is a really big focus, just because of the value of it. There are real world applications to it, and it just seems to be something that I know some students struggle with, and that's absolutely understandable. So you're going to have some questions like this. Like I said, you can do it on a Google form or you can do it as a PDF. Either option is available to you. You are more than welcome to use whichever one you like. I hope you guys had a great weekend, were able to enjoy some sunshine, and email me if you have any questions. And otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday.